Hi, it's Mitzi Wyman here, and today I'm going to be testing out Zoom with eCamm, and my special guest is going to be Lion Fludd from the USA, and we're going to be just playing with things and seeing how it all works and going live. And of course, this is part of the eCamm and Capsule 21-day challenge. Lion and I have had great fun testing things out, and here he is. So I'm just going to let him in now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate that, put myself there, change that, so it should now be camera 3, and there you are. So that worked. Okay, and let me just bring to the front. And how's that looking?
Looking good. Put your name on the front as well.
Good, well spotted. Right, there we are. So not bad as a first attempt. So what do you think would be useful for people to know if they're trying to do this going into eCamm Live and they've never done it before using Zoom? Where should we start?
Yes. So I think one of the first things is to set their expectations. So I was working on a session yesterday with someone, and they were saying, I've got so many cameras. So they went in and started just clicking a lot of buttons. And now it was like overwhelming for them. So I say just limit the expectations and go slow. Mm-hmm. They expect to know it so quickly, and they expect it to work for them right away. So I would think that would be the biggest thing, is limit expectations.
Yeah. In fact, I was watching a video demonstration that Kat Mulverhill did of the new eCamm and Zoom, and I would say 3/4 of this was all about just setting it up so that you could not even bring a guest in, but simply showing how you could use Zoom in eCamm, and it would allow you to have your production. So she would show how to use the chat, but it was a long time before she even talked about bringing a guest in, because actually just being able to bring the production values like your name or your branding, and as I say, the chat alone was, for many people, that was huge.
Yes. I know a lot of people, they get excited when they see maybe someone who's been using eCamm and Zoom for a while, how easy they make it look. And they're like, what? I want it that easy. But it took us some time. The program is easy once you do it, but just learn the basics, right? Learn a couple of scenes. And then the chat feature, like you said, that is amazing, because for me and what I talk about is it creates a little bit more of an engagement feature. People want they want to see their names come up on the screen if they have a question, and then everyone else gets to see the question, which makes it a little bit more, people want to watch. They go, oh, what's that? Oh, how did that happen? So for an example, this is how I have my Zoom chat scene set up. So whenever I want to bring on a chat, I do it like this. So now I am in this triangular type of a thing here. And then actually, so people can see this happen in real time, I'm going to make my green screen there. All right. So then, but now I have the little quotation thing there, and now the chat, they see that and they're like, I need to get to that right away. And I'm like, breathe. Just breathe.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I want to do that. Let me see if I can set it up where I just show the chat feature. So you may have to talk me through this. So I'll just move it on or back to where it's just me.
If you go up to the top of your screen, if you click on options, you will see live demo mode at the bottom.
Oh, now brilliant. Okay, so for those of you who are new to eCamm, you see what we've got down the side here. I think you can see all these buttons. We've got a chat button there. So if I press that, what happens is this window up here, up on the left here, let me just move it so you can see the one I'm talking about there. That one comes up, and you'll see that I already have 3 comments there. And what I do, I press the Add to Broadcast button, and there it appears. And of course, these are the comments that are coming up in the Zoom chat.
If you put your mouse over the picture of the person in the Zoom chat, you can still bring that up as well. So instead of just hitting the add to broadcast over my picture, there you go. Now hit that.
Oh, even better.
You don't
So
have to focus on the small
oh,
broadcast one. You can just hit the picture.
now, that is a simple thing, but not so obvious. I learn so much every
Yes.
time I go on a session with Lion. Yesterday he told me about eCamm markers, which is going to save me hours in editing. And so thank you. These are the absolute nuggets and gems, which is why people should be watching this session. And by the way, I love the way you've got that motion going on with your background. Mine's quite
Yes.
static, and yet it just gives it a little bit of a vibe, doesn't it? It just
It
draws
does.
people in. And I know, shall we
I
show people how you do that?
okay. So what you're about to see here is a very simple way to make your background change. And what I am going to do is I am going to create a blank scene where you'll see the screen go black. And I am going to show the back end of my screens. All right. But in the overlays panel, what you simply do is you click the shape overlay. You add that to the scene. You're going to get any kind of color you want. I used red last time. It remembers it. So now I'm just going to make it bigger just so we can all see that really quick. Now, so from here, there is a little pencil over to the side whenever you get that shape overlay. You can click that and you will get this box that comes up. Myself, I just double click. It's just easier instead of trying to find that little pencil and so forth like that. So over here, once you get that, your fill color, you get to choose. But what you want to do at this point is click on the tab here and you see where it says motion. That's what you're going to do. When you do motion, it's going to give you two colors. And if you look at my scene now, those colors are moving. So all you have to do is choose, and I'll do yellow to make it more pronounced. You might be able to see that now more. And that's it. That's how simple it is to make that motion. And at that point, you can now choose where you want the motion, how fast, the border. You can, make it more to your style. But that's as simple as it is to make that motion that you see going around the back of my screen here. And that motion, I have my subtly moving, right? I didn't want it to be abrupt. What happens is the human mind sees that and it keeps it engaged more. Subconsciously, we're seeing the colors move, and our brain is just like, oh, that is so pretty.
Now you've shown me how to do it, I will go and do that. I do think there is something about the Zoom thing because it's something people are more familiar with, which our clients are more familiar with. What are your thoughts?
So, my number one thought, I think, is the benefit is the ability to get rid of Zoom fatigue. People go into a Zoom meeting expecting the same thing, but eCamm has taken it to the next level. So one of the benefits for me is eventually it's the opportunity to impress a sales meeting or an event because you're not coming into that meeting like everyone else. So now you get to heighten a sales pitch, right? Or for an example, I do a lot of networking events. So even when I go into a Zoom meeting, I will get roughly maybe 25 to 30% of the people in that meeting to write me afterwards. And they're interested in how did you do that? How can I do that? Why was it like that? Right. So now I just created a potential bond. I created an email list. So that's a benefit, I think, of doing eCamm in Zoom. So people will not feel like they're bored, if you will.
Yeah, that's great. And I think also the experience is different if you're coming in as a guest, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And when I've it's so funny, I've had guests come in, and when they come in, you can hear an audible gasp. They will come in, they'll go, right. And it's that moment where they're like, they were not expecting to see the colors in the background, or you know, you can put your guests in a different shape, for an example, right? You can put them in a circle. Everyone loves a circle. Yeah, but and they just audibly go, oh, in that moment you've got them. You yeah, see, everyone loves a circle, and you can create so many things um, that just makes it 10 times better than what a normal meeting would be.
Now, something I'd like to ask you is I sent you the
Yes.
link, you came in. Now, I had my scene set up, but there
Yes.
was that moment you come in and I then have to assign you to a placeholder. I'm already live and trying to do that
Sure.
on the hoof. Is there a
So
way around that?
I got you, Mitzi. I got you. So now I think the thing is, you don't want the viewers to see what's going on. And so let me bring something up here on
So,
my screen so you can see it. So, as I'm going to put an overlay on the scene here. Okay. So let's say I needed to move this from this side of the screen over here, but I don't want people to see it cross my face, right? I wanted to bring my guest on, but they were on the wrong side of the screen, but I didn't want the people to see me put the guest over here. Okay. Um, I'm going to do that same thing without you seeing it move from one side to the other. So what I am doing is what's called in eCamm the preview mode. What eCamm does is it broadcasts you live, but it gives you the ability to work behind the scenes to create a scene, to set it up without any people seeing.
it's great to see that, in the preview mode, if there was anything going on, I could change that. So that's really, really helpful. That's really good to know.
But let's say you're live and maybe one of your guests have an internet connection disruption. Um, if they come back onto the link, eCamm automatically places them back in the same placeholder they were at. So you
Brilliant.
don't have to worry about, oh, I gotta, put them back in. As soon as they click the link to come back on, eCamm puts them right back into that place. It's a small but absolutely great feature that eCamm does.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've been so impressed with eCamm is the community, how responsive they are. Oh, that's cute.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. How responsive they are, the community, how generous everybody is. I think that's really one of the very special things. Now, I'm conscious it's the eCamm and Capsule 21-day challenge. So, what's the latest on Capsule for you? Have you been developing anything further?
So
Yeah.
I recently used, and I'll actually even bring this up. So I used Capsule here recently, and I'm going to my page because our episode that we recorded recently, and I've gotten way more viewers. I got in one day 632 views
Wow.
on this one video through the program, and the next one with you, I, and Paul has gotten close to 200 in that one day. And that's not usual with my videos.
What I did, I've gone through so many of my YouTube videos, putting new descriptions and tags. It's
Mhm.
also making me think more strategically. So I'm going to have to go through all of my YouTube channel, decide which videos are in, which are out. Maybe now start to create some consistent thumbnails so it looks tidy when people go there. It's not just a series of random videos on this, that, and the other. The other thing, I have to say, I don't like Facebook. I have always found it so confusing, but it's forced me to look again at Facebook. So, yesterday, I spent a couple of hours on my Facebook Mitzi Wyman training page. And of course, I was able just to take the stuff that I'd generated through Capsule, put that up on there, about 4 or 5 videos. And I have to say, already it looks a hell of a lot tidier than my YouTube channel. And I was able to just press a button where it went to all of my contacts to say, please like this. It's encouraged me. Anything more? Any other final tips that you want to give anybody?
Yeah. Here's the tip I want to give, because I see it often people are in meetings and then they will start talking and they say, "Hey, oh, you're on mute," and people will go and they go search for the mute button, right? You see them searching for the mute button, and they go, "Oh, there it is," and themselves off of mute. So I have a funny thing that I do first off before the tip. When someone's in a meeting and they're on mute, I'll let them know, but I do it in this manner where I bring up that little fun thing. But here's my tip that I give to people. You can look at investing in something like this. This is a physical button. It's called Mute Me. It is green currently because it lets me know that I am able to see it and that I know that green means my mic is hot, my mic is working. If I tap it, now it goes mute because it's red. So I get to visually see if I'm on mute, right? So it's just a quick little thing. If maybe my dog is about to bark or I hear a noise of a truck outside that's going to get very quickly. So that's my little tip.
That's great. Well, thank you very much, Lion. I will post this, and of course, I'll link you to that, and we'll see how this video does. That's what I'll put the whole thing into Capture, and we'll see what it generates. That could be really interesting as a real life example, so people can see what was generated from this. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much.
Okay. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Whereabouts in the States are you?
I'm in South Carolina.
Oh, wow. I'm sure there'll be lots of people on this side of the pond that would be really interested in what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And if any presenters or speakers out there want a remote production is what I call it, right? Remote rescue, get in touch with me because I am definitely looking to show you how eCamm and the power of Zoom can level your presentations up. Because a lot of times speakers get bored of their own presentations because they've done it so many times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah. Okay, thanks so much. Okay, so that was Lion there, just really running a session for you today, for you to see how Zoom works in eCamm. As you can see, I'm pretty much a novice at a lot of this, so I'm learning as we go along. But how great to have someone like Lion who's able to help us with this. And what I will do is run this through Capsule, so any of you who are on the 21-day challenge can see what it generated. And I think that could be a really interesting case study. So bye-bye for now.